There are some signs of relief coming for the people of Jackson, Mississippi this week. After a months-long water crisis there, the EPA now says that the city's drinking water is safe after numerous tests. Joining us now with the very latest, Michael Goldberg. He is a reporter with the Associated Press and covers Mississippi extensively. Michael, thank you for being with us this morning. So the EPA says the water is safe to drink. What else are they saying to convince people that's true?
Thank you for having me, Marni. So the EPA told me on Monday that based on samples they collected with the Mississippi State Department of Health, that the water is safe to drink. It meets standards under the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act, though they did specify that sampling for lead and copper levels in the water have been collected, but those results have not been received yet. They are expected in mid-November. So they are cautioning at-risk populations such as pregnant women, children, to follow State Department health guidelines and proceed with caution until the full slate of results are available. As far as rebuilding trust in the water system, it's certainly a long-term process. I've spoken with residents of Jackson who have lived in the city their entire life and have never drinking from the tap water due to ongoing issues and just distrust. So rebuilding trust from citizens of Jackson will certainly be an ongoing process based on what local officials are telling me.
Michael, how far back does the distrust go?
Yeah, it really lingers back decades, to be honest. Some sort of trace the decline of Jackson's water system to the 1970s when federal spending on water infrastructure peaked. Over the course of the last few decades, there have been periodic boil water notices due to breakdowns in the water system. And even before the water crisis began in late August, the city had already been under a boil water notice for 1 month due to cloudy water samples that were collected at the beginning of the summer. So it really is a long-term issue that didn't arise overnight in late August.
Yeah. And Michael, people have the very basic question that we all do is, one, how can this happen in one of our American cities? And the second question is, why did it take so long to address it and then fix it?
Well, the question of how did this happen is one that certainly depends on who you ask. To analyze the Jackson water crisis is to look at kind of a complex web of political and legal disputes that kind of span city, state, and federal government. Some place the blame at the feet of the state and federal government for not investing in Jackson's water infrastructure to the degree that local officials have asked for. Others have said that really the crisis can be traced back to mismanagement at the city level, issues with the billing system, and just kind of general day-to-day mismanagement. And some believe it's kind of a combination of multiple factors. So it really is, it's certainly one that is unique to Jackson in one sense based on the scale of the issue. But of course, we've seen water system breakdowns in Flint and other cities. And I think that locals are really hoping that the national attention that this particular crisis has garnered will really catalyze action from multiple levels of government to finally fix this water system.
Right. And to try to get those answers, a lot of times it will take an investigation. The EPA says it will investigate the coordination between state and local government. What's the status of that investigation at this point?
Right. So the NAACP urged the EPA to investigate based on a federal civil rights complaint that it filed. The NAACP's argument is that the state government in particular has not done its due diligence in funding Jackson, has funneled money into sort of majority white suburbs of Jackson and prevented Jackson from raising the revenue through its local sales tax and sort of other means to fix the water system. So the EPA has launched an investigation. Congressman Benny Thompson, who represents most of Jackson, expects the investigation to take about 4 months. The water crisis is also the subject of 2 congressional investigations. One of the committees investigating is led by Congressman Thompson, although the status of that investigation is unclear, given that If Democrats lose their majority in the midterms, the fate of those investigations, whether they would proceed or not, would be unclear. But the EPA investigation is pressing ahead.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.